7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. Welcome. Good evening to you in St. Kitts and Nevis. Good evening to you in the Leeward Islands. Good evening to you in the OECS. Good evening to you in the Caribbean, the regional diaspora. And as we step further afield, we say good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, wherever it is, whatever it is in your part of the world. Welcome to another edition of On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Bif Mills, your host, and it's always a pleasure and a privilege to be here for yet another edition. And we're hoping to have some fun. We're hoping to educate you, inform you, and perhaps create some discussions and debates around the domino tables, the draft board tables, and even at the bars, watching home, wherever you are, linemen, be it football, cricket, whatever. Today is the 29th, Tuesday the 29th, and the first third of the year, first third of 2025 is about to slip into the annals of history, gone to not come back. And the year is finishing extremely fast. Monday coming, it's a public holiday. It's Labour's Day, Workers' Day, whatever you want to call it. And normally the workers around the world have a workers' march. And in some countries, the trades and labor union affiliated with the various labor parties, they have their march, and persons would go out in whatever your uniform, working uniform, I believe it should be. But we'll talk about that perhaps a little later. And before we get into the meat of the matter, as usual, if you're celebrating any birthdays today, we say happy birthday to you. And speaking of birthdays, and there's a gentleman who I think a lot of us know, Andre Russell. I think most of us know him. And when is his birthday? Anybody could tell me when is Andre Russell's birthday? Of course, you probably guessed. The 29th of April. He was born in 1988, so he's making 37 today. Andre Russell. We say happy birthday, Andre. How are you? Hope you're having a party. Hope you're having fun wherever you are. Whatever you're doing, don't overdo it. Just max it up, but don't max it out. And of course, if you're driving, don't drink. If you're drinking, don't drive. If by chance you have to drink, you believe, get a designated driver, because the life you save may very well be your own and or your loved one. So happy birthday again, Andre. To anyone else celebrating birthdays, happy birthday to you. And of course, to anyone having anniversaries, they're celebrating anniversaries, happy anniversary to you. If you achieved something good, congratulations, be it on your job, on your car, on your fingernail, on your weave, whatever it is, on your toenail, I don't know. Happy congratulations to you. And those who celebrated birthdays and anniversaries between last week, Wednesday and yesterday, we say happy belated birthday to you, happy belated anniversaries. And those who are going to be celebrating birthdays or anniversaries between tomorrow, Wednesday, God's Spear, and the next week, Monday, we say happy birthday in advance, happy anniversary in advance. We are to be having Mr. Sam Spencer, our guest on the program, and he should have been with us from about 7:15. I suspect he may not be able to make it. He did indicate that he would have tried because something popped up. He had to deal with it. However, he wasn't certain he would get through with it by 7:15, but we'll hope and wait and see. And he is the chairman of Leeward Islands Cricket Board. He is in charge of he's a member of the Leeward Islands Cricket Committee, and he is also a scout, West Indies cricket scout. So we're going to wait and see. We have a few listeners who are normally with us. We have, well, let's start overseas. Mr. Eustace Hendrickson. He's in Texas, and he is always with us. Good evening, Eustace. How are you, sir? And hope you're enjoying the program so far. And, of course, any suggestions you make, and Eustace always calls in with a suggestion of some sort, or he may call me and say, well, yes, I said that. I think that was a good idea. Suppose you tried so. And, of course, I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to any recommendations you have. If you have some concerns, I'm also available and open to that, because it is all about, the show is not mine, the show is for you. It's so happened that I have the privilege and the honor of being the host. I'm just the tool, the machine to get this show to you. So anything you feel, give us a call, 869-466-0989, or you can send a WhatsApp to me, 668-2055. Montezuma over in Mansion, he is also listening as well. And as a matter of fact, he's going to be starting the James Harris Cricket League. That has been out for a bit, and that's going to be coming on stream again in May. So he is going to be having registration. Actually, it is open, and we're encouraging you to give him a shout, register, excuse me, and play some cricket, T20 cricket. James Harris, one of the super players from St. Kitts in the 80s and the 90s, and the league is named after him, the James Harris Cricket League, and that is actually going to bowl off on Sunday, the 15th of June. However, registration is opened right now, and it'll be open for another month because it closes on the 31st of May. So you have a whole month to register, no matter where you are, and the registration fee is just $100. $100. I'm wondering if I'm not seeing this. My glasses, they're relatively new, but $100 for registration fee for a big cricket tournament? Well, I have to go with this. That it's not a mistake. But you could also clear it up with John Palmer or Montezuma. And this competition started in 2008, and it has been going on for some time, and it took a break, and I'm going to tell you a bit of the years when it happened in 2008, who the winners were, and who would have won it, etc., etc. And just in 2008, the winner was Christchurch. They were the first to win it when the show started. And in 2009, they won it back-to-back. So obviously, they are the first team to win it, and they are the first team to win it back-to-back. Backstreet, I think that's a place in Mansion. They won it in 2010, the second team to win it, and they came back in 2011 and won it. So they're not only the second team to win it, the second team to win it back-to-back. Tabernacle, they won it in 2012. Front Street Limers, so you have Backstreet and you have Front Street. Front Street Limers won it in 2013. So Tabernacle, the third club to win it. Front Street Limers, the fourth. Backstreet came back in 2014, and they won it. And thus, at that point, they were the winningest team to win it, the first team to win it 3 times. Molyneux won it in 2015, and Christchurch got jealous. And they came back in 2016 and they won it. So they are the second team to win it 3 times. And 2017, there wasn't any. 2018, Backstreet came back. And today they are the winningest team because they won it 4 times. Young Guns in 2019, they won it 2020 and 21. They weren't any leagues because obviously of COVID. Young Guns came back in 2022. So they are the 3rd team to win it back-to-back, Young Guns. They are going for a 3-peat, which would be historic, the first team to win it 3 years in a row, 3 seasons in a row. Would they be able to do that? I'm not really certain, but we'll just have to wait and see. But then again, the James Harris Cricket League, that bowls off on Sunday, 15th June, and matches will be played at Mansions Playing Field. All teams interested in playing in this league are asked to register with John Palmer no later than the 31st of April. Forgive me, the 31st of May. And actually, I should have started a different way. I should have started with a bit of bereavement. We have lost a sportsman, a sports administrator, and there's a release that comes from the St. Kitts Cricket Association. It's dated Monday, 28th April, and it is penned by the president of the St. Kitts Cricket Association, Mr. Dennis Phillip, and it is captioned, "Condolences to the family of Mr. Lee Bailey. We are saddened with the unfortunate news of the recent passing of one of our former members of management and a member of the St. Kitts Cricket Association, the SKCA, the late Lee Bailey. Lee, who returned home from England as a retiree some 2 decades ago, immersed himself in the SKCA starting around the World Cup cricket in 2007. As a member of the World Cup team, Lee was humble, honest, and calm in everything he did. His short stint among us at cricket was felt as he became absent a few years ago as his health failed, but his contribution to cricket continued through his membership. On behalf of the St. Kitts Cricket Association and I, we extend sincere condolences and sympathy to his wife Gwen, his children, family, and acquaintances for his loss. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Sincere regards, Mr. Dennis Phillip, President, St. Kitts Cricket Association. And on behalf of the management, staff, and board of directors of WINN FM 98.9, and on behalf of the St. Kitts Nevis Table Tennis Association and also the St. Kitts and the Nevis Olympic Committee, and obviously the news and the sports department at WINN FM, and especially the On the Ball program, and yours truly as the sportscaster, the daily sportscaster for WINN FM, we extend condolences to the entire family, and we ask you to find comfort and to find strength in the many, many pleasant moments you would have shared, which you will forever cherish. And condolences again to his family, friends, communities. He was also a member of the St. Christopher Golf Club, so we say condolences to them as well, and hope you be strong. May his soul rest in peace. So that is coming from the St. Kitts Cricket Association as a part of a bereavement. And there's a young lady in Keon, I think it is, Miss Larnett Somerset. She is tuned in. Say good evening, Larnett, how are you? And who else? We have persons down in Sandy Point, all over the world. And again, give us a call, 869-466-0989, or you can call yours truly, 668-2055. The St. Kitts Cricket Association, they had their elections, the last elections 2 years ago, Thursday, April 24th to be exact, and it is coming up once more. And there's a notice as well coming from the St. Kitts Cricket Association. This is dated Thursday, 24th April 2025. The St. Kitts Cricket Association will be holding its biennial meeting and elections on Monday, 19th May at the Royal St. Kitts Conference Room at 6 p.m. Members are encouraged to renew their membership before the 8th of May, and that is, you have to renew your membership before Thursday, 8th May. Members wishing to hold a post in the upcoming elections to serve as executive and management members are hereby required to write a letter of intent on or before Thursday, 8th May 2025, addressed to Ms. Andrea Liddy, Secretary, St. Kitts Cricket Association, Calvin Wilkin Pavilion, Warner Park Cricket Stadium, Warner Park, Bastia. So the elections are coming up on Monday, 19th May, 6 p.m. at the Royal St. Kitts Conference Room. And it says here the executive and the management. My personal preference is not this separation. The executive, that is, from my understanding, the president, the vice president, the secretary, the treasurer, the assistant secretary. And then there are 6 executive members. So you have the executive, which is just those 5, and management comprises those 5 plus the 6 executive members. I have a different view, and it is not about cricket. Football, they have a similar model. I believe the members vote for all, in this case 9 members to govern the affairs of the cricket, of St. Kitts cricket. You can't have all 9 having positions, assistant treasurer, assistant water carrier, assistant cleaner, whatever. You can't have that. So that is why there are 5, and then there are 6 other members. So forgive me, that's 11. 6 and 5, 11, yeah. So I don't like these 5 having a meeting by themselves and then they're having a meeting with the other 6. I think all of them should be having meetings because, in my view, the membership voted for them in block. So all of them are there to govern the affairs of the national associations, be it football, cricket, table tennis, whatever the case. So that is just my humble view. And we are, again, encouraging you. And you have to write to say, dear Madam Secretary, I, Troy Bif Mills, I'm intending to run for the president of the St. Kitts Cricket Association, or Troy Bif Mills, I intend to run for the secretary, or Troy Bif Mills, I'm interested in being elected as an executive member. So you have to have that letter in. The thing about it is, that's just my intent. And I could wish an intent as much as I want. I don't believe it stops there. I believe you should be nominated. Somebody should nominate you. I would like to nominate Troy Bif Mills for president, and there must be a seconder. That wasn't done last election. I don't know how that happened. And somebody tried to convince me, once you wrote a letter of intent, that was the nomination. I think I'm reasonable. I'm not the most intelligent in the world. I don't believe I'm the dumbest either. But a letter of intent to me is far and separate apart from nominations, because you could not have a letter of intent and you still need to be nominated. So persons know who are going up against who. And of course, when the deadline comes, the Thursday 8th, I'm optimistic that the management of the Cricket Association would share the nominees. These are the 2, 3, 4, 5 persons going up for president. These are the 2, 3, 4 for secretary. The treasurer. These are just examples, mind you. They're just examples. I'm not saying that is what is happening or that will happen. There's only one nomination for treasurer, so it means the treasurer is going to return unopposed, etc., etc. I believe that R21 would be shared with the membership before the election, so you could make up your mind who you're going with. And to me, when you're not certain and all the sort of things, you try to keep things close to your chest and you don't want to share information. You don't want to say, hey, these are the 48 individual members, or 55 or 60 or whatever the number is. I believe you should be sharing that. Troy Mills, Peter Paul, Mary Jane, Susan that, blah, blah, blah. So we could know. If we want to go and campaign to them, fine. But you want to keep, sorry about that, you want to keep that list close to your chest. that is unfair. I don't think it's reasonable. But hey, that's just my view. Let's go to a break quickly, and I'm going to try and get in contact with our guest tonight to find out if he will be able to make it. I did call early. I didn't get him, so I may very well have to go it alone. And we have information here to talk about it and all kind of things. And let's have a break, and we will be right back. Stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. welcome back, welcome back to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Bif Mills, your host, and our guest for tonight regrettably would not be able to make it and extend apologies. And I understand it was perhaps, maybe, not certain, and he gave it his best shot, but unfortunately he isn't here. And we'll probably touch base and see if he's available next week to find out his views as a scout for West Indies on the Under 15 tournament that was played in Antigua last week. And we also have the females that is coming up down in St. Vincent. A lot of cricket is being played in the Caribbean. Quite a bit of it is T20 50 overs. Is that enough? I am not certain. How much more do we need to go? I know we need a lot of cricket. As a matter of fact, I know we need cricket in St. Kitts. We have had two-day cricket in St. Kitts for perhaps 10, 15 years. I started umpiring in 1984, and we had two-day cricket starting in about January, finishing in about April, May, after which the Leeward Islands tournament started in May, went on to May, June. I remember being in Montserrat on a Whit Monday for the LA tournament, and the structure, the model was most times Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 3-day, with Monday being the limited overs, the 50 overs. So it was always 4 days cricket, a 3-day match followed by the 1-day. In some cases, it may have been Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 3-day, with Sunday being the 50 overs. And most times the traveling umpire would have done both matches. I had the privilege of umpiring in all the Leeward Islands except St. Croix. I don't think I umpired in St. Croix. So I've been to Nevis for LA tournament matches. I've been to Antigua, Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Thomas, and Montserrat. I've been to Montserrat, and I'm fortunate. I may very well be one of the very few persons who umpired at 3 venues in Montserrat. I umpired at Sturge Park way back before the volcano dealt with that in 1990. And then after the volcano, matches were played, I think, at Salem Park. I umpired at Salem, and then matches were played at down by the port, they call it, by the seaside, and I umpired there as well. So one of the most fortunate umpires to have umpired at all 3 venues so far. I'm not certain where they're playing now. I think it's still down by the what you call it there, the port, down by the seaside, which is a good thing. But nonetheless, we're back here with WINN FM 98.9 with On the Ball. I'm Troy Bif Mills. You can give me a call, 466-0989, or you can WhatsApp me, 668-2055. We have track and field, we have basketball, we have cricket, we have football, we talk about some volleyball. As a matter of fact, let us look at some volleyball in terms of information from the St. Kitts Amateur Volleyball Association, dated the 15th of April, and this comes from the president of Mr. Glenn Quinlan, and it's a request for score support from national federations, that is St. Kitts and Nevis Netball Association, table tennis, volleyball, football, cricket, etc., etc. The St. Kitts Amateur Volleyball Association, or SCAVA, with the support of the SKNOC, the St. Kitts and the Nevis Olympic Committee, will again host the Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Association's, that is ECVA, Under 21 Beach Volleyball Championships at North Frigate Bay from June 6 to 8, 2025. And this is the 3rd consecutive year they're having it, so something to keep when it comes to volleyball. We're extending a call for volunteers to member federations. And of course, even if you're not a member of any national association and you're interested to volunteer, you can do that. To support this international event, we require a team of 24 volunteers. 24 volunteer scorers, that is. Each scoring team will consist of 2 individuals, one official scorer and a support assistant who manages manual score sheets and server indicators. Interested persons should contact Mr. Glenn Quinlan, president of the St. Kitts Amateur Volleyball Association, SCAVA, at email scava1986@gmail.com, or let me spell it out: S as in Sam, K as in kangaroo, A as in apple, V as in volleyball, A as in apple, 1986 at gmail, or give him a call at 662-4567. That is 662-4567. And they're not just going to pick you up and thrust you into the scoring. To prepare the volunteers, we have organized the following training sessions: a virtual familiarization series, date and link to follow. That's 1. 2, an in-person training session on Friday, May 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the SKNOC's conference room, that is up at Taylor's Range. And 3, a practical scoring opportunity during the SCAVA National Tour event on May 10th and 11th at Frigate Bay. Mr. Kim Shallery of St. Lucia will facilitate the sessions. Volunteers who successfully complete the training will be selected for official duty during the U21 Championship. Volunteers will receive a branded t-shirt, lunch, yummy, yummy, goody, goody, and refreshments for each assignment day. We appreciate your continued support and look forward to your assistance securing this essential component of our operations. And that is a notice coming from the St. Kitts Amateur Volleyball Association. Mr. Glenn Quinlan is the president, and his number again, 662-4567. So you can give him a call and find out how things are going. Now, we mentioned a lot of things happening. Track and field. We know the Carifta Games that recently concluded down in Trinidad and Tobago, and the 3 athletes from St. Kitts and Nevis got bronze medals. We are going to come back to that. However, pen relays. The pen relays, this is a series of relays, all kind of relays. You think about a relay, and it is being had at the pen relays, which is in Pennsylvania. And it's an annual event, all kind of things happening there. And Charles E. Mills Secondary School, this was the second year I think they attended. I understand a school from Nevis was to go, but they didn't make it, so it was just SEMS. There was a school from Grenada, one from St. Vincent, and I think there were about 5 or 6 or 7 schools out of Jamaica. And we are wondering why Jamaica is mashing up everybody when it comes to Carifta. The pen relays is the oldest and largest track and field competition in the United States. Wow. Hosted annually since April 21, 1895. That's before my mother and my father met, before their mother and my grandmother and my grandfather, my great-grandmother and my grandfather. As a matter of fact, I think it's even before my great-great-great-grandmother and grandfather met. But anyway, it started April 21st, 1895 by the University of Pennsylvania at Franklin Field in Philadelphia. In 2012, there were 116 events run at the meet, more athletes running the pen relays than any other track and field meet in the world. Wow, that is big. It regularly attracts more than 15,000 participants from high school, colleges, and track clubs throughout North America and abroad, notably Jamaica, competing in more than 300 events over 5 days. Historically, the event has been credited with popularizing the running of relay races. It is held during the last full week in April, ending on the last Saturday in April. Attendance typically tops 100,000 over the final 3 days and has been known to surpass 50,000 on Saturday. Ooh, 50,000, that's like the whole of St. Kitts and Nevis going to the pen relay. I mean, maybe we might carry a couple big stones and dogs and rabbits too, I don't know. The Penn Relay also holds a Catholic youth organization, CYO Night, for Catholic middle schools in the Archdiocese and of Philadelphia. And there were quite a few schools, religious schools running, and a few Catholic schools as well. Preliminaries are run on Tuesday during the Carnival week, and the finals are run on Friday. That's interesting. Now, what is interesting, or what is of interest to us, is the SEMS. The 4x100 meters, they had second, but then there was a boo-boo when it comes to the baton passing. And that caused us to come, was it third? I think we eventually came third. But only the top two were progressing. I wondering if they don't need to start to look at that top two. Because I might win my heat, and you come fourth or fifth in your heat over there. Only the top two are advancing. But you do a much faster time than me who won it in my heat. So I wonder if there shouldn't be time. But anyway, that's just my view. And in the 400 meters, 4x4, SEMS actually won that. And we have a YouTube recording of that. I'm going to go to my producer, Raspi. Okay, we're not yet ready with that. However, we had SEMS there for the first time. They carried a few athletes, and at this stage they are accepting contributions to assist with defraying the cost. So please don't be afraid. Contact Miss Rhoda Johnson or Mr. Webb, both teaching at the Sandy Point, that's at SEMS Charles E. Mills Secondary School. And this has been going on, and I'm hoping that next year, God's spear, more and more and more and more schools will be able to send their athletes, male and female, 4x100, 4x2, 4x4, 4x8. A lot of interesting races that actually happen up there. So it'd be nice to have persons going out and participating in these events. And my producer is still queuing up. And St. Kitts and Nevis, well, we will be listed. And it's a good marketing tool, because could you imagine, apart from the fact that sometimes they have a problem saying Nevis, they say Nevis, but they're going to call it Nevis, and they're going to say, well, hey, the lane one is this, lane one and two. And obviously, they're going to spend more time on the American universities. But in the race, especially the 4x4, because it's a little longer to you have a chance to talk a little more. And he calling out the lane assignments. Oh, yes, we have an international school, Charles E. Mills Secondary School, out of St. Kitts and Nevis. I felt proud hearing that. Not because they're from SP where the best be, but I felt proud that St. Kitts and Nevis is being represented. And here we go now to listen up to, as we bring, it's actually a video, but you'll be able to hear the audio.
Looks like a clean start this time. As we hit the back stretch now, the compression where the race begins to take shape. One point of confusion that I'm going to clear up about this heat, we had two teams, both from the state.
We're just trying to check it out and get it together with the audio. Having a little challenge we're trying to sort out.
Looks like a clean start this time. As we hit the back stretch now, the compression where the race begins to take shape. One point of confusion that I'm going to clear up about this heat, we had two teams, both from the...
And seconds that we apologize. We're hoping that you could actually hear. That's the start of the relay.
Looks like a clean start this time. As we hit the back stretch now, the compression where the race begins to take shape. One point of confusion that I'm going to clear up about this heat. We had two teams, both from the state of New York, that are called LaSalle. It looks like only one of them has made it to the line. So no LaSalle Institute from Troy, LaSalle Academy. They are from the great borough of Manhattan. But our leaders coming off the turn. Looks like a clean start this time. As we hit the back stretch now, the compression where the race begins to take shape. One point of confusion that I'm going to clear up about this heat. We had two teams, both from the state of New York, that are called LaSalle. It looks like only one of them has made it to the line. So no LaSalle Institute from Troy, LaSalle Academy.
We're going to go, as a matter of fact, let us take a very short break and stick and stay. Don't go away. We will be right back with more On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. welcome back to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Bif Mills, your host, and welcome to, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. And those of you who've been here with us before, we thank you very much for being here. On the Ball heard every Tuesday, live, radio, online, Facebook, YouTube, from 7 to 9 p.m. We always ensure to try and have a guest rather than just bring you just the one view. Find out what's happening with national associations. And we have a few guests lined up for the next few weeks, God spare. And be they individuals who would have performed. And we tried to get the SEMS really in, but they came in today, I think it was. That's who would have gone to the Carifta Games. The Penn Relay, we tried to get the team, the medalists who went to the Carifta Games as well. We were not successful, but we do have SEMS winning the 4x400 meter relay. And let's go again to that clip. And again, it's actually a video, but we've transferred it to the audio. So you're going to be hearing the race live as we now go to the recorded feed of SEMS 4x4.
Looks like a clean start this time. As we hit the back stretch now, the compression where the race begins to take shape. One point of confusion that I'm going to clear up about this heat. We had two teams, both from the state of New York, that are called LaSalle. It looks like only one of them has made it to the line. So no LaSalle Institute from Troy, LaSalle Academy. They are from the great borough of Manhattan. But our leaders coming off of the turn are from Maryland. This is Franklin. And right behind them is Charles E. Mills from St. Kitts and Nevis. Yes, we've got some international competition taking place in this race. And you saw that dark blue and gold with the big M. That is not the University of Michigan. That is Massapequa from New York. The Chiefs from Long Island running in third place. Running very strong. Trying to collect Charles E. Mills on this backstretch. Can't quite get by. But they keep that aggression going and make the pass. Looked like Mills nearly got clipped there. And avoiding all of this on the front is Franklin. In a very advantageous position. Geographically, with all that clearance, they're going to be able to execute a cleaner handoff as far as circumstances go. The Reisterstown natives will hand off just ahead of the St. Kitts and Nevis inhabitants, who had a great finish to that second leg. Massapequa had to do a lot of work to get up to them and definitely paid for it in that back half. 51-54 by Nassim Gerald for St. Kitts and Nevis is Charles E. Mills. Mills, one of one teams, just one of one from their island nation, and they want to make this potential one and only run count in the 4x4. We also got to see them run earlier in the 4x1. We'll get to see their girls run in both sprint relays tomorrow. Can they win today? They're going to have to put it in the hands of their anchor to take it home for one final go-around. DeJean Webb from Jaheim Clark. And a greatly executed pass with Franklin only losing ground. A big move now into third by Ryan Rossig from Riverdale Regional. He's overtaken Massapequa and Chris Cordero on his anchor leg. But can anybody catch Charles E. Mills is the question from here as we hit the final 200 meters, well below 3 minutes. Massapequa striking back. You saw them move into third. Charles E. Mills coming off the turn. And Charles E. Mills will be your winner in heat number 161. Looking for that clock. This is going to be one of our fastest times yet as they cross the line. It'll be a 3:27.03. In the hands of their anchor to take it home for one final go-around. DeJean Webb from Jaheim Clark. And a greatly executed pass with Franklin only losing ground. A big move now into third by Ryan Rossig from Riverdale Regional. He's overtaken Massapequa and Chris Cordero on his anchor leg. But can anybody catch Charles E. Mills is the question from here as we hit the final 200 meters, well below 3 minutes. Massapequa striking back. You saw them move into third. Charles E. Mills coming off the turn. And Charles E. Mills will be your winner in heat number 161. Looking for that clock. This is going to be one of our fastest times yet as they cross the line. It'll be a 3:27.03. Should put them in the top 5 overall standings if we look at our previous heats. That second section, West Windsor, Plainsboro.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
That was indeed Charles E. Mills winning that 4x400 meters. And I really feel extremely proud of that. And the fact that it was obviously SP with the best beat out of Sandy Point, my alma mater. Though when I went, it was Sandy Point High School, later changed to SEMS, Charles E. Mills Secondary School. But I think it was St. Kitts and Nevis, and I believe all Kittitians and the Nevisians at home and abroad should have been very, very extremely proud of that, because they represented us, St. Kitts and the Nevis. It was a much bigger thing than SP with the best beat, because they were ambassadors for St. Kitts and Nevis. And hopefully they may be able to send 2 teams next year, we don't know. And who knows, perhaps the birthplace of champions, Bastia High School, CFBC, Gingerland, Charlestown Secondary, they may be able to field a team. I don't think it's it's cheap at all. And I would encourage, I believe that they are still accepting donations that you can give. Contact Mr. Webb, who teaches at Sandy Point High School. And I could give you his number to call. They were to have landed earlier this evening, so you can give him a call, 664-9909, 664-9903, pardon me, 664-9903. That is Teacher Webb at the Charles E. Mills Secondary School. And in terms of contributions, even after the fact, I'm certain that they'll be glad to accept it. And I encourage other schools to start working towards it next year. And the mere fact that this is the second year they're going, and they've had this tremendous performance winning the 4x4 males, it's quite refreshing, and we say congratulations to them. And all the other athletes who went and didn't win, didn't place, we still say congratulations to you. The management and staff at the Charles E. Mills Secondary School, all the entities that supported. And I say congratulations to you and hope we can make it a little better next year. Well, since we're in track and field, let's come back from the pen relay and go down to Antigua and Barbuda, go down to Trinidad and Tobago. And they had elections yesterday, I think it was yesterday, yes. And the government has changed. The Prime Minister is Kamala Bisesa. She was a one-term government back in 2010 to 2015, and she came back. Actually, when Prime Minister Rowley stepped down and he gave the new Prime Minister, he was sworn in, the gentleman, I can't remember the name, he was sworn in as the new Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Within very short time, a day or two or whatever it was, he said, hey, we're going to have elections. I wondered how wise the decision was, but of course I'm not there. I don't know what the temperature was like. I don't know what was happening on the ground. And I'm thinking that the only way he'll do that is because he felt confident that he and his party would win. But that wasn't the case for whatever the reason or reasons are. Kamala Persad Bisesa, she's now the Prime Minister again of Trinidad and Tobago. And we say congratulations to her. But visiting her land in terms of the Carifta medals that we would have had, and these are the 20 countries that medaled. French Guiana in 20, they had just 1 bronze. Curacao, they also had 1 bronze. St. Kitts and Nevis in 18 with 3 bronze. Haiti, they had 1 silver, and I should remind, the order is gold medals, silver medals, then bronze. I'm starting from the bottom up. Haiti, they had 1 silver. Martinique, 1 silver, 1 bronze. Guadeloupe, a total of 4 medals, 1 silver, 3 bronze. Bermuda had 2 silvers. British Virgin Islands, 2 silvers, 1 bronze. Dominica had just the 1 gold. Guyana had 1 gold, 1 bronze. 1 gold, 1 silver, 3 bronze. That's 5. Aruba in 10, 1 gold and 2 silvers. Barbados, one of 5 countries to get double figure medals. They had 1 gold, 5 silver, 8 bronze medals, a total of 14. The US Virgin Islands had 2 gold medals. Cayman Islands had 2 gold and 1 bronze. St. Lucia, 2 gold, 1 bronze, 1 silver, 1 bronze. That's 4. Antigua and Barbuda in 5th with 5 medals, 2 golds, 1 silver, 2 bronze. Grenada, they were 4th with double figures, 13. 2 gold medals, 6 silvers, 5 bronze. Trinidad and Tobago, they were 25. 9 gold medals, 6 silvers, and 10 bronze medals. The Bahamas, they were 37 medals in all, 16 gold medals, 13 silver medals, and 8 bronze medals, a total of 37. Bahamas coming second, as we would say. Jamaica winning it with a total of 78 medals, more than twice the number of medals than the second place team, and more than 3 times the number of medals than the third place team. 78 medals comprising 30 gold, 30, 27 silvers, and 21 bronze. This is really a blowout. And if you look at the medal counts over the years, St. Kitts and Nevis, we're at number 14 with 46 medals. Forgive me, and these medals are from 1990. I said over the years, and it's from 1990. And who do we have below us in double figures? Turks and Caicos, 4 at 28. Haiti, 3, 27. Aruba, 26. That's ranked 26. They have 7 medals. The Netherlands and Antilles, they have 11 medals in 25th. Anguilla in number 24 with 8. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 23rd with 17. Curacao, 17 as well. US Virgin Islands, 17. 3 gold, 5 silvers, 19 bronze. Belize, they're 20th. Suriname, 19 with 16, 5 gold medals. Turks and Caicos, 23, 6 gold, 7 bronze, 7 silvers, 10 bronze. US Virgin Islands, 9 in 17. French Guiana, they are 16 with 20 medals total. 7 gold, 7 silvers, 6 bronze. Dominica, they are 37, a whooping 37 medals. 9 gold medals, 13 silvers, 15 bronze. They are in 15th. St. Kitts and Nevis, we are in 14th position in the medal count from Carifta since 1950. We have had 10 gold medals, 16 silvers, and 20 bronze, a total of 46. I wonder if I could do a quiz here. I wonder if anybody could tell me, or who could tell me, the first gold medal St. Kitts and Nevis won at the Carifta Games. Who won it, in what event, what year? That's interesting. If you believe, give me a call. British Virgin Islands, they're in 13th with 41 medals. And remember again, the count really to put you in number one, the count that puts you in number one is the number of gold medals. St. Lucia, 61 medals, 12 golds. Cayman Islands, 72 medals, 15 golds in 11. In the top 10, we have Bermuda with 116 medals. Wow. 25 golds, 42 silvers, 49 bronze. Guyana, they are 9th with 89 gold medals, 89 medals, 30 gold. Antigua and Barbuda, they are 8th with 71 medals, 31 gold. With 49 gold medals, we have Guadeloupe in 7th, a total of 198 medals. We're getting above the 200 figure. Grenada in 6th with 215 medals overall, 58 gold medals. Grenada in 6th, Martinique in 5th with 71 gold medals, 277 medals overall. That's Martinique. In 4th, we have Barbados, a total of 536 medals with 130 gold, 176 silvers, 230 bronze, with 682 medals total since 1990. We have Trinidad and Tobago in 3rd, 181 gold medals, 242 silvers, 259 bronze. In 2nd, as you would suspect, we have the Bahamas, 761 medals, 195 gold medals, 261 silvers, and 306 bronze. 761. And this is a blowout, as we say colloquially, by any standards. The Bahamas, 2nd with 761, the second most medals, 761, the second most gold medals at 194. Jamaica, I wonder if anybody could guess this and how close you'll get. Jamaica, a total of 1,894 medals, more than twice the amount of Trinidad, of the Bahamas, was 2nd. Jamaica, 900 gold medals. That's like 4.5 times the number of gold medals for the Bahamas. Jamaica, 606 silver medals. Bahamas, 261 silvers. Jamaica, 388 bronze medals. Bahamas had 306. So Jamaica, really a blowout. So over the years, they have been, since 1990, a total of 5,257 medals in all, dished out in all, with 1,767 gold medals. Of that, Jamaica getting more than half at 900. 1,726 silver medals overall from the 28 countries. Jamaica got 606 silvers, and bronze, 1,764 bronze medals overall. Jamaica got 388 bronze. That's a lot of running. The question we need to ask ourselves in St. Kitts and Nevis, or should it be questions? 1, what are they doing in Jamaica that we are not doing here in St. Kitts and Nevis? Or even what are they doing in the Bahamas that we are not doing here in St. Kitts and Nevis? 2, what would it take for us to start doing what they're doing in Jamaica? And 3, when would we start seeing, I can't even say results like Jamaica. I'm not certain I'll be able to see that in my lifetime or in our lifetime. But what I'm hoping to see is a gradual increase. Jamaica is there and we're here, and I'm hoping that, yes, Jamaica will rise, but we're rising and we'll be able to close the gap as well. I'm hoping that will happen. But a thorough assessment needs to be done, and I don't think it's by the St. Kitts Nevis athletics alone. I don't know, perhaps the involvement of the Olympic Committee, National Olympic Committee, and obviously the government of the day in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I'm not targeting any one government because this has been the case since 1990. But if we go back to some more stats, and these are facts and figures, these are not my opinions or my perceptions, these are facts and figures. The games started in the first edition of the Carifta Games. It was held in 1972 in Bridgetown, Barbados, from the 1st to the 4th of April. There were 23 events. Jamaica won it that year. As a matter of fact, I think Jamaica has won it 38 times or thereabout. And these 78 medals, 78 gold medals that Jamaica won, 78 medals Jamaica won. They won 80 something in Grenada a few years ago, but they won 90 plus, which is the record, Jamaica. And 72 Jamaica, 73 Jamaica. Perhaps it's easy for me to call the years that Jamaica didn't win. The fourth edition in 75, Bermuda won that, and it was held in Bermuda. And the years you don't hear me call, Jamaica won it. In 1980, the ninth edition in the Bahamas, it was held in Bermuda, but Bahamas won it. In the 10th edition in the Bahamas, in 81, Bahamas won it as well. So the number of events had reached 48 by that time, from the 23 they started. And Jamaica won it again in 1982. 83, 84, Bahamas won it in Martinique, and in the Bahamas, Jamaica came back and stormed all the others from 1985. Whoa. I don't think Jamaica has lost since 1985, yeah. No, they haven't. I think they've won it like 39 straight, I believe. And so we had Bermuda. Only 3 countries have won the Caribbean Games. Sorry, 4. Bermuda won, they won it once. The Bahamas 2, actually I was right, 3. The Bahamas 2, they won it 4 times. And Jamaica won it out of 52, that's 48 times. True, that's a powerful record. A record I don't think will be broken in our lifetime. And yes, Bermuda winning it once in 75, Bahamas win it in 80 and 81, and then coming back and win it in 83 and 84. So Bahamas have won it 4 times on 2 separate occasions. Bermuda has won it once, and Jamaica has won it all the other times. And again, the $1 million question: what is Jamaica doing that we, the other Caribbean countries, are not doing? And scouts are going down to look at the Caribbean Games. They are going to look for athletes to give scholarships. And obviously they're going down targeting the Jamaican schools. And rightfully so. They've won it 40-something times out of 52. So I can't blame anybody for that. But when you step back and you look at it, at the Penn Relays, Jamaica had 5, 6, 7, 9 teams, whatever it was. I know they had more than 5, because I was following it for a bit. Grenada had 1, St. Kitts and Nevis 1, St. Vincent 1. I don't remember if there was any from Antigua. But 1, Jamaica, yes, Jamaica is a little closer to US. But I don't think it's all about that. It has to do with preparation as well. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to get there one of these days. And when we look at the fact that Kim Collins won a gold medal at the World Championships in 2003, and 22 years later, we have not been able to emulate that. I'm not certain how many persons got into any finals in the World Championships nor the Olympics, never mind get on the podium. So again, we have to really start looking at this, because we are told our madness or craziness is doing the same thing and expecting to get a different result. And one of the things I have been suggesting, Trinidad and Barbados, they have a model which I like very much. They get the corporate community involved in sponsorship. And I'm not certain of the percentages, the ratios. They sponsor sports, they sponsor culture. And I remember in 2015 being in the Crop Over Festival, Crop Over Finals in Barbados. The first Calypsonian came out, And coming on stage is Calypsonian Troy Bif Mills, and he's sponsored by 1, 2, 3. So I'm saying, okay, that's a good idea. This Calypsonian, he was creative. He went out and did some work. But then the second Calypsonian came out, and he also had 3, 4, 5, whatever number of sponsors. And you say, okay, yeah, it's possible. 2 Calypsonians, 2 people think alike. When the third one came out with a bunch of sponsors, Calypsonians, I said, no man, something happening here, something a keep. And I asked the question, and I was told that there is the model that the corporate entities in Barbados, when they sponsor, and there's a list, sports, schools, hospitals, whatever. At the end of the year, let's say they give a $1 million EC sponsorship to different entities, schools, churches, communities, national associations, etc., etc. What the government does is say, okay, you gave $1 million, so we now have before us $10 million. At the end of the year, this is your, whatever they tax the figure on. Let's say it's $10 million, and the ratio is 3 to 1. So you gave sponsorship to the tune of $1 million. So 3 times 1 million is 3 million. So we deduct 3 million from the 7 million. So we're only going to tax you on 7 million. And that is what I gather is encouraging all these communities, all these businesses in Trinidad and Barbados especially. And I'm not certain about Jamaica, if it's similar. And I suspect that though. And I am thinking, were we to do that in St. Kitts and Nevis, we'll see much more companies coming on board and sponsoring, 1, and sponsoring with greater amounts, 2. I think we'll be able to see that, but that has to be something that comes from the government point of view. And who knows, we'll perhaps see that at some time soon. But that's it for track and field. We touched the Carifta. We have just a little over half an hour to go. Wow, time flies when you're having fun, man. And we touch track and field, we touch volleyball, we touch cycling. Did we touch? No, there wasn't any cycling. We touched a bit of cricket, and we're going to do a piece of golf at the moment. And we're going to set it up in a second. Just give us a second here while we set it up. And this information is coming compliments Zeke, as my producer cues up that golf recording for us. It's about 1 minute 19 seconds. And while he does that,
it's from the Royal St. Kitts Golf Club April monthly medal golf tournament played over the weekend. We had closest to the pin on hole number 9, Michael Davis. Closest to the pin on hole number 15, Joan Harris. The overall Logos winner went to Rock Charles Blake. In the net category, we had in 4th place Zeke Percival, 3rd place Simone Mills, 2nd place Elvis Bowen, and the champion for April in the Royal St. Kitts Golf Club monthly medal went to Dr. Vance Gilbert. Congratulations to Dr. Vance Gilbert, the April Royal St. Kitts Golf Club monthly medal champion. We had also Dr. Vance Gilbert walking away with 8 points for the E-Zone Cup. 8 points, getting a bit closer to the leader in the E-Zone Cup this far, Rock Charles Blake, with 12 points. So congratulations are going out to Dr. Vance Gilbert, the April champion in the Royal St. Kitts Golf Club monthly medal for April. Congratulations, Dr. Gilbert.
Thank you very much, Zeke, and for that report. And the golf was something I keep in golf. And speaking about golf, we remember the passing of Lee Bailey, a member of the St. Christopher Club. He was present on an On the Ball show last year. I think it was representing golf. So let us move from golf now to some football, heading over to Nevis. The Nevis Football Association and Claxton Services Legends Cup. They've started a league. They have 4 teams. And after 3 rounds of matches, Youths of the Future, well, something look like it's not youth in our future in with them. They've played 3 matches. They haven't won any yet. They've drawn to lost 1. They have 4 points. They're in 4th. In 3rd, we have Tropical Blossoms, Hot Springs Bath United, winning 1, drawing 1, losing 1. They're even Steven, straight across the board. A flat line. They've scored 5, and 5 have scored against them 5 goals. So they have a goal difference of 0. They have 4 points. Hard Times United out of Gingerland and Nevis. They are also on 4 points with a straight line, winning 1, drawing 1, losing 1. However, they've scored more goals than Bath. They've scored 7. They've given up 7. So they have a goal difference of 0 as well. And out front, Drafters CF. They've won 2. They've lost 1. So they have 6 points. So that is the points table from Nevis. And if we look at matches coming up in the Nevis Football Association and Claxton's Services Legends Cup on Sunday, 4th May at 6 p.m. Youths of the Future, they'll try to get their first point, and they're coming up against Tropical Blossoms Hot Springs Bath United. And in the feature game at 8 p.m., Hard Times United FC, they will try to They will meet Drafters CF, and all of this action happening at the ETW El Comido Tonito Willett Park. So go on out and support football in Nevis. Go on out and support these 4 clubs. And that is in Nevis. And here in St. Kitts now, the regular season has been, round 1 has been completed. All teams have played 9 matches. And oh my, a lot of action. We're going into the losers brush part of it right now. The knockout, the FA Cup. You lose, you're gone home. And just before we go there, we look at the points in the Premiership. Elko Limited Security Forces, I don't know what to say or do. I don't know if it's a record. They've played 9 matches and they have a perfect record. They've lost all 9. So 1, they're yet to get a point. 2, you could get a point without scoring if the match draws 0-0, but you can't win if you don't score. And they haven't scored a goal as yet. For a whole 9 games, they can't find the back of the net. Mantab, they are on 4 points, 1 victory, 1 draw and match, 7 losses. They in 9th, Sandy Point FC, Jones Group Sandy Point FC, in 8th with 8 points. Bath United 7th with 10 points. Old Road United, Multrovin Farms, Clean Right United Jets. And let me back up. Tropical Springs, Hot Springs, Bath United, 10 points in 7th. Clean Right, Multrovin Farms, Clean Right, Old Road United Jets in 6th with 13 points. Development Bank St. Peter's 5th with 16 points. Island Auto Supply Connery 4th on 16 points. However, they have a better goal difference of just 1. Both teams won 5 matches, draw 1, lose 3. St. Peter's scored 15, while 10 scored against them, so they have a goal difference of +5. Connery, they've scored 18, 12 scored against them, so they have a goal difference of +6. St. Paul's, the defending champions, the President Cup champions, and United Old Road Jets are the FA Cup champions, and a new champion, maybe them again, will be determined over the next 2 weeks. St. Paul's, they had a torrid time, but they are now in 3rd with 17 points, just 6 points adrift of the leaders. And Connery, they are in 4th. They're just 7 points adrift of the leaders. St. Paul's, 17 points. Rams Village Superstars in 2nd with 20 points, just 3 points behind the leaders. And Azul Keon Rockets out front on 23 points, winning the first round. So I don't know if there's any money for the first round, but Azul Keon Rockets, they are leading, and would they be able to maintain that lead at the end of the first round, second round, and also at the end of the final 4? and also at the end of the best of 3, I don't know. But if you look at the Division 1, Large Patriots, the cellar dwellers, they have 1 drawn match. They have 1 point. Connery Fireballs International, they are also on 1 point for 1 drawn match and 8 losses. However, Large, they've scored 4 and they've given up 54. Wow, that's a lot of goals, boy. That's negative 50, minus 50 the goal difference. Whereas Connery, they've also scored 4, but only 45 scored against them, so they have a goal difference of minus 41. And speaking about all these goals, I remember when I played for Bay Eagles in 1992, I think it was. Strangely enough, that was the fittest year of my life. Fit as a fiddle. That is when I joined the Referees Association. And I was running miles in the morning, lunchtime in the afternoon, and still playing in the afternoon. I was just fit. I played for Bay and they were in the Premier Division. I think 99 goals are thereabouts scored on them for the whole year. But if this stays on track, that's going to be an easy record to eat up. I don't know what the record is. And of that, about 66 would have scored on me. And a few of those games, I remember Newtown giving us a 11-0 twice, first round, second round. Spurs giving us a 15-0. So right off the bat, that's 37 goals in just 3 matches. And I think Newtown deserved to give us more than the 15. That time, Keith Kayamba Gums, he was just coming in, teeny in the pinker form. And, but I was also in the pinker form. And I think I had my biggest games against those two because obviously coming with a big reputation. And I remember anytime Tinny Tearway coming at me, the first thing I'll do is box my fist. Because Tinny could kick hard. So I'm not going to try to stop the ball. I'm just going to block it, boom, and ricochet go out wherever. And I believe I should have been invited to trials for the year. A lot of goals scored on me, but it's the type of goals I saved. I remember taking ball off of the same Tinny foot, Kayamba foot. They get one-on-one and they reach in, I move ball. When they kick, they nearly sprain the knee. Same thing with Pepe. I think Pepe was with Blackburns at the time. Or was it Spurs? I can't remember. But Deco was in the prime with Spurs. And I had a very good year. I was goalkeeper of the year in the Sandy Point League. I was goalkeeper of the year in the Business League as well. There was a business football league. I was the goalkeeper of the year. And I had a very good season, really fit. But back to the 54 goals. Trinity in 8th, KFC Trinity Challengers, they have 8 points. Rivers of Living Water also on 8 points in 7th. And both of them winning 2, drawing to losing 2. And what is happening is Trinity, they've scored 16 and 54 goals have scored against them. 5-4, that's a lot of goals. So they have a goal difference of negative 38, minus 38. And Rivers, they've scored 12. Only 27 have been scored against them. So they have a goal difference of minus 15. Trevor Fates and Associates Molyneux Pitbulls, they are 6th with 10 points. Sadlers United 5th. They've dropped down from 2nd or 3rd to 5th. They have 19 points. And this is the Unicoma Cable Village Galaxy. They are 4th, also on 19 points. Actually, there are 3 teams on 19 points. Garden Hotspurs also, Skellig Garden Hotspurs on 19 points. But Spurs in 3rd with 19. Village Galaxy 4th with 19. But the Beckett's Fast Cash Saddlers United 5th on 19. And all 3 teams winning 6, drawing 1, losing 2. However, Saddlers, they've scored 27. They've given up 10. So they have a goal difference of 17. Village Galaxy, they've scored 33. And they've given up 8. So they have a goal difference of 25. Garden Hotspurs, they've scored 37 and given up 9. So they have a goal difference of 28, plus 28. Trans Global Engineering Bay Eagles, they are 2nd on 21 points, with Honda Newtown United 1st on 22 points. Newtown lost just the 1 match. Bay losing 2, Spurs losing 2, Village Galaxy losing 2, Saddlers losing 2. The difference is in the drawing column. And Bay was leading for 1 weekend, 2 weekend, So that's the end of the round 1. And we're now going to be getting into the FA Cup. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. This is the loser's brush. You lose, you go home. You win, you go to the next round. And it is a preliminary round in the first instance, where 4 teams are playing to join the round of 16. And these are in the matches coming up on Wednesday 30th. That is, and these matches are at Keon playing field. And where are you? Where are your matches? Oh, here you are. At 6 p.m. Wednesday, 30th April, the Unicomer, the Cable, Village, Galaxy will be taking on 607 Construction, Lodge Patriots, Losers Bush, FA Cup or Knockout, 6 p.m. at Keon. And then the feature game, Trans Global Engineering Day by Eagles, coming up against Connery Fireballs International at 8 p.m. Those 4 teams are from the first division. On Thursday, May 1st, Elko Limited Security Forces, the only team from the Premier League going through the preliminary round. They're coming up against KFC Trinity Challengers, and at 8 p.m., Mother Beckett's Fast Cash Saddlers, they're coming up against Rivers. And then the winners there, the round of 16, Saturday, May 3rd, Old Road versus Deep Bay or Fireball International at 6 p.m. 8 p.m. Village versus Newtown. On Sunday 4th, Connery versus either Saddlers or Rivers. Yes. And all that's 4 p.m. And at 6 p.m. St. Peter's versus Molyneux. On Tuesday, May 6th, remember Monday is Labor Day, so it's a public holiday. On Tuesday, May 6th, St. Paul's will be coming up against Security Forces or Challengers. And at 6 p.m., 8 p.m., Bath versus Sandy Point. On Wednesday 7th, Spurs versus Galaxy or Lodge, and Keon versus Mantab. So that is the round of 16, and then that'll produce 8 winners. And then that's in the 8 winners would play, and then they produce 4 winners in the semifinals. So the 8 winners, this is the elimination round. And then we have the quarterfinals, semifinals, etc., etc. And that is the case. Now we're going to slip over quickly to cricket. And we have a lot of cricket in terms of the local league. St. Paul's will be playing La Poinciana in the finals. And that is because La Poinciana completely took advantage of Molyneux Keon. I thought that was a very disappointing performance. I don't know the reason for Molyneux Keon, because I thought they are a strong team, a well put together team. In the first semifinals down at Sandy Point, we had Sandy Point winning the toss and fielded first, asking St. Paul's to bat, and I can't understand. I think we have lost the mentality here in St. Kitts. Win the toss and bat first. You got some people, even if the pitch ain't in a good condition, rain and whatever, they want to win the toss and bat first because there's just that win the toss and bat first mentality. I don't subscribe to that. I, however, do subscribe to win the toss and bat if the pitch is okay and the conditions and the weather and all that. But some people winning the toss and asking team to bat. St. Paul's 142 all out, Sandy Point, there was 69 all out. So St. Paul's winning that match by 73 runs. In terms of, we look quickly at the scores, no, let us go to St. Paul's first. Xavier Henry opening the batting, he was 34. And he's the highest scorer. Anthony Keynes, he was the second highest. He batted down at 28 from 45. And Kunal Tilokani, fourth change, 3-4, 18 from 4.4. Opener Tishwan Francis, 2 for 36. Alexis Richards, 1 for 20. Cordell Cook, 2 for 17. When Sandy Point batted, Shane Jeffers, 48 from 59 balls. And Cordell Cook, batting at 8, he was 10 from 20, the only two batters to get into double figures. And the opening bowlers for St. Paul's, Kasim Challenger, picking up 3 for 8 from 4 overs, 1 maiden. Leroy Leader, this guy wouldn't go away. He's about 93, 94 by now, playing cricket for forever. A left arm, nice left arm spin bowler. They call him, what do they call him again? Goody? I can't remember. But a nice left arm bowler. And he picked up, opening the bowling, 3 for 19 from Boogie. That's his name. 3 for 19 from 4 overs. Josh Leader, 2 for 5. Extremely tight from 4 overs. Anthony Keynes, 2 for 10. And therefore, St. Paul's booking a place in the finals. And when it came to La Poinciana, guess what? Molyneux Keon won the toss and decided to field. I mean, I just don't understand that. And Keon, that's not Keon, that's La Poinciana. They made a very healthy 252, all out from 35.5 overs. And La Poinciana, Molyneux Keon, they didn't even score 100, 99 all out. So quickly at the scorecard, we had for La Poinciana, Rove Low, opening 21 from 20. Light Brown, this is a youngster from Nevis. I saw him in the under 19. I like him, very energetic. It looks like he thinks the game a lot. He was 40 from 66, batting at 3. Rashid Eddy, this is at least the second half century he has made. He was 66 from 50 balls, and he batted down at number 6. S.Y. Powell, the good old Ez is still around, 36 from 29. Jerickson Louis, the youngest brother of the Louis brothers, 39 from 18. Vansh Adesani, he was the third change, 3 for 33 from 4.5. And Corwin Squeet opening the bowling, 2 for 51 from 8. When Molyneux Keon batted, 3 players got into double figures. Christian Jakiri, 15 from 20, he opened in the batting. Xavier Saunders, 25 from 31, batting at 4. And batting at 7, Corwin Skeet, a run a ball 20. Elijah Lewis, that's a youngster and under 19 player. He seems to be a good cricketer. Perhaps a little temperamental adjustment needed. He missed out on a 5-for actually. He got 4 for 28 from 5.5 overs. Kevin Hanley, he's been around still. 3 for 16 from 4 overs. And Theron Busso out of Nevis, 3 for 21 from 5 overs. All 4 bowlers, 3 bowlers. Rashid Eddy opening the batting. I guess you can't do well in everything. He had 5 for 28 and he didn't touch a pad. So that final game is going to be played at Connery, and it's upcoming on this Saturday, Sunday. And it's going to be played at Connery from 10 a.m. So cricket lovers, you're asked to go on out and support some cricket, look at some local cricket. That's on Sunday, 4th May. Yes, at Connery. And still in cricket, the cool and smooth's happening here. Thursday, 15th May, down to Sunday, 25th May. Molyneux Blue Runners at 3 p.m. versus St. Paul's Barracudas. And at 7 p.m., that's Thursday, 15th, Brown Hill Dolphins versus Sandy Point Snappers. And Thursday, 15th, Saturday, 17th, we have Government Road Sharks versus Brown Hill Dolphins at 3, and then at 7, Sandy Point Snappers versus Molyneux Blue Runners. Sunday 18th, Brown Hill Dolphins, Molyneux Blue Runners at 3, and the Government Road Sharks versus St. Paul's Barracudas at 7. The final will be played on the 25th. And we also have the Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze. That's happening down in St. Vincent. It kicks off on Thursday, 1st May. Guyana versus Leewards. That's the morning game from 10 a.m. to 12:45. The afternoon game, 2:30 to 3:15, would be Barbados versus Trinidad and Tobago. And Windwards versus Jamaica, the feature game at 7 p.m., 7 to 9:45. That's play Thursday, rest Friday, Saturday. Windwards versus Guyana at 10, Jamaica versus TNT at 2:30, and Barbados versus Leewards at 7. The finals will be played on Sunday, 11th May. So that's a lot of action there, a lot of cricket action. And we spoke football, we spoke cricket, basketball. We have to say congratulations to Rams Footer Sandy Point winning this championship. Ooh, it seems like they could never stop winning. They have won this championship multiple times now. And if they lost one game for the season, they went through the whole sweep season without losing. They won the best of three, the first in the best of three playoffs. And then Rams Village Superstar, Rams Hitters came back. Rams really doing a good job sponsoring the programs, and they sponsor Island Tea here on WINN FM 98.9 every morning from 8 to 10 as well. And so Rams had the best of both worlds in the basketball finals. Rams Footer Sandy Point Falcons and the Rams Hitters. So Rams doing an excellent job with their sponsorship. And so Footer Falcons out of Sandy Point won the first game. Then Hitters came back, won the second game. They needed to win that to stay alive, and they did. And that was the first game that Sandy Point Footer Falcons would have lost for the season. And then they came back and they blew out Rams Hitters in the third game. So if we look at this, 2016, it was SP Footer Falcons. 2017, Achievers Sports Club Jayhawks. 2018, the back-to-back Achievers Sports Club Jayhawks. 2019, Rams Hitters. 2020, Bird Rock Uprisers. I don't know if that's a one-hit wonder. And again, these are just from 2016. 2021, Achievers Sports Club Jayhawks won it. 2022, Sandy Point Footer Falcons. 2023, Sandy Point Footer Falcons. 2024, St. Paul's Tough Nuts. They were the defending champions, but they got a lot of blows as the defending champions. They didn't even make the playoffs. And now 2025, the Rams Footer Sandy Point Falcons winning it. We say congratulations to them for the power showing they would have had, and wish them the best. But quickly before we go to the end, the Cricket West Indies and CPL, Caribbean Premier League, they started a new competition on Friday, and it's called the Breakout League. And where are we? If we look at the games that have happened so far, Guyana Rainforest in the first match, Windward Islands Infernos defeated them. Guyana Rainforest 141 for 9 from 20 overs. Windward Islands 166. They batted first, Windwards 166 for 6. Windwards winning by 25 runs. In the second game, we had Trinidad and Tobago making 165 for 8. Barbados Pelicans 101 all out. So Trinidad and Tobago Legions winning by 64. So it's Guyana Rainforest Rangers, Windward Island Infernos, Trinidad and Tobago Legions, Barbados Pelicans. And that was on Friday, the opening day. On the Saturday, Jamaica Titans, they made 123 for 6 from 20 overs. Leeward Islands Thunder 127 for 4. So Leeward Island Thunders winning by 6 wickets and with 20 balls to spare. Trinidad and Tobago Legions, they were 173 for 6 from 20. Guyana Rainforest Rangers 150 for 9 from 20. That was Saturday. And Trinidad and Tobago Legions winning by 23 runs. The second game is being played Tuesday 29th. In the first game this afternoon at 2 p.m., Jamaica Titans, they were 166 all out from 20 overs. A very close game. Guyana Rainforest Rangers 163 for 8. From their 20 overs, the target was 177. So Jamaica Titans winning by 3 runs. It doesn't get any closer than that, actually. And if we look at matches coming up on Wednesday, Trinidad and Tobago versus Barbados. Yes, at 2 p.m. Trinidad and Tobago versus Jamaica at 2 p.m. and then Barbados versus Leewards at 7 p.m. on Thursday. The women starting, Guyana women versus Leewards. That's the Arnoldville playing field. Barbados versus Trinidad and Tobago. All the games at Arnold's playing field. Windward Islands versus Jamaica. And all the matches for this breakout league, they're being played down at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Tarouba. But before we slip away, there's a 14-year-old causing a lot of havoc in the IPL. A lot of things happening in cricket. Some good, some not so good. 14-year-old Vaibhav Shorian Vanshi. The first ball he faced in the CPL league, the IPL, he hit a 6. And one of 10 players to have done that so far. First ball, pow, out of the park, 6 runs. And he just scored a century. And it is one of the fastest centuries. He scored it off of 35 balls. And could you imagine that? A 14-year-old. 35 balls. And that happened today, just 9 days after becoming the youngest debutant in the IPL as well. And in just his 3rd match, the second fastest the tournament over 18 years, the second fastest century in the IPL over the 18 years. And his future is looking extremely, extremely bright at 14. At 14 and 23 days, he became the IPL's youngest debutant when he was brought in as an impact player for the Rajasthan Royals, RR, in their chase of 181. He began his IPL career with a 6 off his first delivery, bowled by Shardul Thakur. He hails from Samistipu, a city about 100 kilometers northeast of Patna. Well, of course, I'm not too familiar with these places. So we say congratulations to him. And at 14, does that mean we'll be seeing him in the ICC Under-19 Championship for India shortly and in Indian colors as a youth? And they've produced some players. They had a youngster who made 1,000+ runs. Yes, I'm not losing it. 1,000+ runs in an Indian school match. I wonder what become of him, because I'm thinking if he's scoring 1,000 runs with his peers, what he's going to do in a few years. I don't know what has become of him. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to wrap up. It's that time. It's time to go. I think we covered quite a bit of grounds tonight. And we covered basketball, we covered cricket, we covered football, we covered track and field. And boxing, there's an association out of Nevis doing some boxing. And remember, there were some problems with the International Boxing Federations, and the International Olympic Committee suspended them a few years ago. And by extension, the St. Kitts and Nevis Boxing Association, that was also suspended because of its parent international body. And they are getting that sort out with World Boxing Association. I don't think it's quite finalized, but it's showing good promise. And but there's a group of persons, I'm not certain of the name, the age, that they formed, and they had some boxing displays in Nevis sometime last week. And we are going to keep you updated with that. And again, before we slip away, Lee Bailey has passed. We say condolences to his family and the friends. He walked around the cricket, also coming from the Cricket Association, the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association, the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee, and condolences going out to his family, Wendy, his wife and children, and also to the St. Christopher Golf Club, and coming from the management staff and the board of directors of WINN FM 98.9, the news department, the sports department, yours truly, host of On the Ball, as well as the sports caster. A reminder to register for the James Harris Cricket T20 Cricket League that starts on Sunday, 15th June. Registration closes on the 31st of May 2025, just $100 EC. Contact John Palmer or Montezuma for registration. The Volleyball Association, they're looking for 24 volunteers to assist with scoring for the East Caribbean Volleyball Association competition they're having here. And it's the third time they're having it, so they must get some good kudos for that. Contact Glenn Quinlan. He will be able to give you more information on that. He's the president of the St. Kitts Amateur Volleyball Association. So give him a shout, and he'll be able to tell you what and go about. There's some training that's happening as well. And you're going to be getting all sorts of things. And who knows, I might think about giving it a shot. I am not certain about that as yet. But give him a call, and he will be able to tell you more about that. And his number is, I'll give you in a minute, 662-4567. That's Glenn Quinlan, 662-4567. And that is with the Volleyball St. Kitts Association. Elections coming up on meeting. Biennial general meeting comes up on Monday the 19th of May. Elections, you have to pay your subscription by Thursday the 8th of May, as well as you have to send in your letter of interest to say, I'm interested in running for the president, secretary, whatever. I'm interested in being elected as a member of the executive, and that must get to them by the 8th of Thursday the 8th of May. And are we knockout action? Again, knockout football, that is starting Wednesday the 30th with 2 games. Village Galaxy versus Lodge, Wednesday 30th at 6 p.m. over at Keon Playing Field. Dateby versus Connery Fireballs, also at Keon at 8 p.m. And then on Thursday, Security Forces versus Trinity Challengers at 6 p.m. Saddlers versus Rivers at 8 p.m. all happening over at Keon. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of the show. It has been a wonderful evening as usual. We thank you for being with us. Of course, you could still send whatever suggestions you have, whatever concerns, observations, how we can better serve you. And you can send it to Troy Bif Mills, yours truly, at 668-2055. If you want to email me, you can do that at tkmilz@hotmail. T is for tender, K is for kangaroo, M is for mango, I for igloo, L for love, Z for zebra, tkmilz@hotmail.com. You can email me. Let us know how we could better serve you, make the program more interesting, better, whatever. And of course, we're looking at a sponsor. We still need to get a sponsor for the program. You can call our marketing department, 466-9586, whether you want to sponsor the entire month, the entire year, or you want to sponsor the first Tuesday of the month, or the first hour, the first half an hour, whatever you want. We must be able to work out something with you. So give our marketing department, 466-9586, a call, or you can give yours truly. I must thank my producer, Mr. Raspy, DJ Raspy of Tough House Sounds, for being with me tonight as usual. To all of you who've been listening us, looking at us on Facebook and or YouTube, we thank you very much. And we do invite you to tune in again next week, but it's incumbent of me to always ask you, impress upon you, beseech you, admonish you to be patient. Or you can become a patient and you don't want to become a patient. Or it could be even worse. So please, be patient when you're driving. Look at the other drivers in front. Don't drive too close, because if you run into the back and say, hey, Mr. Police, they stopped quickly, I didn't see them and they didn't put on brake light or no indicator. That doesn't hold water. It is of no moment. The more speed you're driving, the further you drive behind. And of course, especially if rain is falling, the road is wet. And we have had a few fatalities from car accidents for the last few weeks. Started the year in a kind of way, and then there was a lull, and we've had about 4 or 5 over the last few weeks. So please, folks, please take it easy on the road and don't drink on the drive. And don't drive under the influence of alcohol. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you're driving, don't drink. If you're drinking, get a designated driver, please. So tune in again next week, Tuesday, from another edition of On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9 from 7 to 9 p.m. with yours truly. And we'll update you again what's happening regionally, locally, and internationally. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night, and always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Troy Bif Mills signing out.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.